Hello everyone, Joseph Dunphy here, and this is your weekly Grass10 grazing management update on the dairy edge. The PastureBase Ireland data for the week is the average farm cover is 650 kilos of dry matter per hectare. The cover per livestock unit is running at 182 kilos of dry matter per livestock unit. The growth this week, disappointing at 58 kilos of dry matter per hectare. Demand reduced to 53 kilos of dry matter per hectare. The pre-grazing yield was 1,600 kilos of dry matter per hectare, and the diet for the last 7 days was 15 kilos of grass and 4 kilos of meal. Dry matter percentages recorded were 17% in Athenry, County Galway, 16% in Oak Park, County Carlow, 16% in Moore Park, County Cork, and 18% in Grange, County Meath. Your grass growth, rainfall, and soil temperature predictions for the coming 7 days. The grass growth predictions are quite variable at the minute, with predictions from the high 50s up to the mid to high 60s expected for the coming 7 days. Soil temperatures, again, with the cold northerly airflow, are stubborn at the minute at between 11 and 12 degrees. And predicted rainfall for the coming 7 days is going to be above average, with 20 to 25 millimetres of rain expected for the southeast and the south, and 25 to 35 millimetres of rain expected for the west and the northwest. Your Grass10 grazing tips for this week. The cold weather has dropped growth rates back to 58 kilos of dry matter on Irish farms. Farms are tight for grass as the cooler northerly airflow is continuing to have an impact and reducing growth rates. Regrowths are especially being impacted on paddocks that have been topped, pre-mowed or cut over the last while. Predicted growth rates are very variable and hard to predict as the harsh wind and lack of rain in parts is having an impact on growth. If you are below 170 kilos of dry matter per livestock unit and pre-grazing yields are dropping, hold your rotation at 21 days, increase the grazing area or introduce extra supplement in the form of concentrate or bale silage into the diet. A good guide would be to drop demand to 50 kilos of dry matter per hectare on your farm in order to allow paddocks to recover. So for example, a farm that's stocked at 3.5 cows per hectare at the minute, allow 14 kilos of pasture. So make up the rest of the diet to 19 kilos of allowance with 3 kilos of meal and 2 kilos of bale silage. Aim for a cover per livestock unit of 170 to 200 kilos of dry matter per livestock unit and walk your farm every 5 days and measure on PastureBase Ireland. The Teagasc Grass10 team, along with the Teagasc Joint Programme Advisors and the Teagasc Local Advisory Team, are running a series of clover workshops this summer, starting next week. Topics to be discussed include successful management of clover reseeds, nutrient management of clover swards, and general grazing advice in what has been a difficult year so far. See the flyer in this week's newsletter to attend a workshop in your area. With poor growing conditions, it's important to review your clover paddocks to decide on an N application strategy. Clover content should be 25% or higher before considering a significant reduction in N input. Paddocks with poor clover should receive similar N applications to grass-only paddocks at the minute until growing conditions improve. Review your clover paddocks again in July and see if clover percentages has increased. This week's featured farmer is Enda Armstrong, who's milking 145 cows near Kilcolgan in County Galway. Enda's average farm cover is 557 kilos dry matter per hectare. The cover per livestock unit is running at 145 kilos of dry matter per livestock unit, and growth is at 60 kilos dry matter per hectare. Cows are milking 20 litres, fat is 4.35 and the protein at 3.59. Similar to a lot of farmers throughout the country, Enda is tight for grass at the minute as the northerly wind keeps a lid on growth rates, and quality is also an issue, but slow growth rates don't allow an opportunity to correct any paddocks at the minute. Paddocks, especially that were cut for bales or topped, are only around 1,000 kilos of dry matter per hectare after about 18 to 20 days, which is putting the farm under pressure. So he's feeding 4 kilos of meal at the minute and hoping to keep silage out of the diet. Grass-only paddocks are getting 20 units of nitrogen per acre after grazing, and high clover paddocks on the farm are getting 10 units of N, so half-rate nitrogen or soiled water after grazing. Enda has a reseed in since the 7th of May, which is coming close to spraying over the next 7 to 10 days. Many late April or early May reseeds are now approaching the point at which they should be treated with a post-emergent spray somewhere in around that 6 to 7 week period. A successful post-emergence spray will help to ensure your fresh grass clover reseeds gets the best possible chance of a low weed burden. Weeds are best controlled when the grass plant is at the 3-leaf stage and when the trifoliate leaf has appeared on the clover plant. So if you would like to hear more from the Grass10 team, subscribe to the weekly Grass10 newsletter, which is available on the Grass10 page on the Teagasc public website, and a link to the newsletter is also available in the description of this podcast. This has been your Grass10 update, and I'll talk to you all next week.